Take the dual plot to get Benedict and Beatrice to fall in love with each other. She enthusiastically partakes and paints an intelligently precise picture of her cousin's faults and characteristics. In Act 3, Scene 1, she suggests Beatrice can be awkward and perverse when it comes to describing men, and tells Ursula, with her mortified cousin listening in, hidden close by, "I never yet saw a man, how wise, how noble, young, how rarely featured, but she would spell him backward." So even when a man clearly deserves approval and respect, when a man has good quality after good quality, Beatrice, according to Hero, will seek ways of misrepresenting him, spelling him backward, and the audience will feel there is some truth in this. Hero carries on highlighting Beatrice's perversities in a series of withering if clauses. If fair-faced, she would swear the gentleman should be her sister. If speaking, why a vane blown with all winds. If silent, why a block moved with none. The reference to Beatrice rejecting a good-looking young man is a precise echo of what was said in Act 2, Scene 1. Beatrice, in full flow with Leonato, Antonio and Hero, declares that she would never choose either a husband with a beard or a clean-shaven, fair-faced one, and jokes, "What should I do with him? Dress him in my apparel and make him my waiting gentlewoman?" Apparel is an old-fashioned word meaning clothes, and the image of a poor, unfortunate, youthful-looking man being dumped into a dress is a comic one, showing Beatrice's apparent contempt towards men in terms of potential lovers and husbands. Hero is able to pinpoint Beatrice's harsh judgments with penetrating accuracy, and in doing so, shows she has insight into her cousin. Just as Don Pedro, Leonato and Claudio are able to convince Benedict that Beatrice is hopelessly in love with her and obtain the required reaction, so Hero is able to do the equivalent with Beatrice. So Hero can act, put on a role to help her fellow female, and displays confidence when alone with other women. However, Shakespeare shows that male pride and paranoia can lead to the terrible, undeserved humiliation of women. In Act 4, Scene 1, Claudio and Don Pedro falsely accuse Hero of sexual betrayal, and both the venue, by the wedding altar, and the words they choose highlight a woman's awful vulnerability at the hands of the male sex. Claudio scornfully tells Leonato to take Hero back again. "Give not this rotten orange to your friends." The metaphor rotten orange suggests that Hero may seem healthy, natural and beautiful on the outside, like an orange, but this exterior hides a rotten, foul interior or soul. The orange has gone off, is mouldy, which the eater hasn't realised until unpeeling. To the daughter of a noble man, or indeed to any innocent woman, this is a cruel, demeaning insult, and there are more to come. Based on Hero's supposed infidelity, Claudio concludes, "Oh, what authority and show of truth can cunning sin cover itself withal?" Here Claudio moves from condemning an individual act of wickedness to providing generalisations about sin based on what he believes Hero has done. In Elizabethan Europe, religion was taken far more seriously than nowadays, with the vast majority going to church and holding firm Christian beliefs. For Claudio to suggest cunning sin, i.e. acts of the devil, has crept into Hero's soul is another monumental insult, and one which it seems she is unable to defend herself against. Shakespeare shows that the word of a man is invariably accepted ahead of that of a woman. Hero denies the accusations. "I talked with no man at that hour, my lord." But her father quickly falls for the emotional, hyperbolic rhetoric spattered with the very occasional glimpse of seemingly factual evidence, and condemns his own daughter publicly. He cries melodramatically, "O fate, take not away thy heavy hand. Death is the fairest cover for her shame that may be wished for." Prompted by other men, Leonato personifies fate and conjures up the image of it crushing his daughter to death with its heavy hands, something he feels she deserves due to what he now believes she has done. So Shakespeare shows that women who either had sex before marriage or were believed to have had sex before marriage are condemned, shamed, shunned beyond belief. He shows that men's words are to be believed ahead of that of a woman, but he also shows how women have the capability for extraordinary forgiveness. Hero is eventually cleared of any wrongdoing and appears again in Act 5, Scene 4 to marry Claudio, although the latter thinks he is repentantly marrying an unknown niece of Leonato. Remember, Claudio publicly humiliated her in the worst way possible. Claudio publicly labelled her a rotten orange. Claudio publicly described her as most foul, most fair in a Macbeth Witches-esque denunciation. Yet, she is able to stand up in the final scene of the play, look Claudio in the face and say, "One hero died defiled, but I do live, and surely as I live, I am a maid." Hero is able to forget the past and both her father and Claudio's terrible words by metaphorically killing it off. She is able to affirm her innocence and virginity, "I am a maid," and in doing so shows her calm acceptance of the need for women to remain sexually pure before marriage. A modern audience may find it incredibly hard to understand how Hero can possibly forgive Claudio. Yet, her forgiveness shows implicitly that she agrees with the concept of female promiscuity being morally disgraceful. Claudio's offence was in not trusting her, rather than in condemning female immorality. More than 200 years later, Austen shows that society still views sexual infidelity, especially in women, as requiring eternal castigation. In Mansfield Park, the married Maria Rushworth pays dearly for running off with another man. Her fate is to be shut away with her annoying aunt, far away from the amusement and fun society can provide. Austen says that an establishment was formed for them, remote and private, where, shut up together with little society, on one side no affection, on the other no judgment, it may be reasonably supposed that their tempers became their mutual punishment. The key word is punishment, and in both Shakespeare and Austen's day, the punishment for female sexual infidelity could last a lifetime. For whilst Maria is shut up away from society and denied the possibility of procreation, the man she ran away with, Mr. Crawford, is left to continue pretty much as he was. Austen reflects, in this world the penalty is less equal than could be wished. So what conclusions can be taken from the portrayal of women in Pride and Prejudice and Much Ado About Nothing? Well, in both texts, the more intelligent, outgoing and witty women end up with happy endings, which in both time periods consisted of marriages. Eliza marries the fabulously rich Mr. Darcy, whilst Beatrice starts a new life as Benedict's husband. But the quieter women, who are known for beauty perhaps more than their minds, also marry. Jane weds Mr. Bingley and Hero Claudio. But are these conventional marriages as joyful? Hero has to forgive and forget Claudio's denunciation, whilst Jane needs to put aside the fact that Mr. Bingley was so easily persuaded into forgetting her, albeit only temporarily. Both authors also show the comparative passivity of women. Hero is unable to speak up for herself or clear her own name. She has to wait for it to happen, in a similar way that Jane has to wait agonisingly for Mr. Bingley's proposal. You've been watching Schofield on Shakespeare. Good morning.